Max on the track right now. We saw this horse walking over to his starting point, and this is one of those finger quotes breezes from the Japanese runners.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to see if the sprinter does this a little differently, right? You know, you would be expecting a horse who's going to enter a sprint race to go a little quicker and to be a little more on the engine. He's definitely ears up, looking around, taking it all in, wants to do more. The rider has a very tight hold on him, and just a little bit of give and take. Watch the rider's hands, just going to pull a little bit to slow him down, then give and release, so they don't get in too much of a fight. But he's just working with him back and forth to try and keep as even a tempo as possible. I think that's kind of the key here, and he quickens up a little bit into the lead change. That's okay. Needs to kind of throw his weight like that. You see a little bit more acceleration down the lane, but he's still not quite letting him go until now.
Till now, he drops his head. Yeah, I like it. I like the way he quickened. You can see it visually. Obviously, he was going slow, but kind of quickened up a little bit there. And there's a fine line in the early stages of doing too much and not enough. You want them going forward to where they're not looking around in that, but you could see this horse visually quicken up over the dirt.
Much different breeze to what we saw from the other two Japanese runners yesterday, and they are targeting longer races where stamina is really a big part of it. You need that acceleration, you need the speed, and so a different way of training a sprinter right there on exhibition.
Who was it that was supposed to work? Theo Saint Denis. The word was that work was so slow it didn't qualify as a work.
Yeah.
He went 109.
Right.
I think it was probably the same for Forever Young yesterday, too.
I don't know. Yeah.
He barely got out of a gallop.
So I don't know if they're going to, it didn't make the Clocker report. So
right.
That's the difference in how they work things. But Max looking like a sprinter every step of the way.
That was impressive. That acceleration was really nice. And the timing of the rider, too, throughout the whole thing, just executed perfectly, holding him until that last, sprint of maybe an eighth of a mile across the wire, through the wire to finish across the wire. Very important to teach a horse. You don't want to start pulling them up as you get close to the finish line in your training in the mornings, because they are creatures of habit, creatures of repetition. You need to teach them exactly what you want them to do in the afternoons, and that is to finish completely through the wire.
Yeah, nice empty track for him to work on, because I got a feeling that horse, if he got in company, he might jump in the bar. You saw how he reacted with those horses galloping to the outside, so they got a good slot in the track there.
He looks great here in the morning, but I'm dubious of his chances when he has to run into the legs of a Straight No Chaser, a Mufasa, a Mulligan, these horses that have won these Grade 1 sprints here in the U.S.
I think a horse like this, you're betting blind. I mean, some of these other horses have been to Saudi, Dubai. We at least have an idea of form lines and the turf. But these horses, when they jump up and they run big, I mean, you're betting them blind because you really don't know the form.
Well, he's never run, as far as I can see, he's never run above Grade 3 company. So graded stakes company in Japan is not too dissimilar from the U.S. on the dirt. So I would be dubious of his class being able to match up. But they've sprung upsets here before.
I think you start to talk about international competition, and there are certain countries that are really dominant in certain types of races. There's a reason why the Euros are so dominant in the turf races here, going 2 turns. You're coming to America and you're reaching American speed at a sprint distance. No matter where you come from, that's going to be a step up in trip, and a step up as far as the speed goes in those early stages of those races.
So that's here at Del Mar. Let's get out to